I'm thinking about the old, if you want something done right, you need to do it yourself.
Part of me is also quite interested watching Alice right now, after all. So much of this blood right there in front of her. I wonder what's going on inside her mind.
No, don't hurt me.
Shh.
No, the killer's the animals. No, that's not fun.
Oh, give me patience. 1 hour. That should be enough to let the trucks get a move on. I'll have to risk it. This is Red Moon Role-Playing.
Things move very fast. The moment comes maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes into your packing. Not an hour as you'd hoped, but there it is. There's a large bang from somewhere, close to the radio. You feel smoke in your nostrils. Screaming, banging. You see 2 cells rattle open. There's another work shift. They jumped one of the guards. The cells beside you being open. Prisoners pouring out down there in the radial. They're in the radial already. You can see Lamprey down there. Things are happening so fast, Paul. You just have your bags in your hands and you start to see prisoners starting running backwards and forwards on the landing. One of them throws himself onto the netting, starts beating on the netting, trying to break through it with a chair. Someone else is going onto the wall with some piping that is got loose and starts beating it. An alarm bell starts klaxoning out. If you're going to have anything to do with how this goes, now is the time, Paul.
I stride out, quickly shoving down the crucifix at the back of my trousers, just as I had it when I first got into this place. I point at the guard being now held by other prisoners. I say, "Don't struggle."
One of them rips the keys from the belt of the guard and hands them to you. A rattling circle of potential freedom. 40 keys at least. 40 cells. The entire landing.
This is what I'd give to Lamprey if he was here. He was my closest one that I could trust.
There, you hear a bang from downstairs and you can see 4 or 5 guards ramming into Lamprey's side. There's some other commotion there also from further in. Maybe at the medical unit or something.
Gotta get people out fast. I take the nearest doors just to start increasing our numbers.
Start popping them up. Here comes 2 disheveled Londoners bursting out, one of them with a plank in his hands that is somehow smuggled in there. The next one, big guy, comes bawling out. He's got newspapers taped to his chest as some sort of makeshift armor and a metal ruler in his hand, and he just goes launching straight down the landing towards the big doors. One more door. 30, 40 people out now. It's a mass.
Get down! Support Lamprey! Get people down there! Hold that one! Start going around, trying to get them organized.
Running from the other side, you see one of the guys that you have seen around Lamprey. He points at him and says, "Micardo, you're Paul, right? Okay, so Lamprey's plan was we start making a hole here and get to the ceiling. But now it's down there. What the fuck do we do, Paul?"
Do it. Stick to the plan. Get us to the roof.
Stick to the plan. But he's down there.
You don't need him to do it.
All right. Yeah. Peoples, bring the shovels, bring the picks. There. Okay. There. Piping A as we train. You go low, you go mid. Yeah. A dude from South London with huge hair comes running up with what looks like an iron rebar and starts cutting it first into the plaster, then into the concrete. making a hole as high as he possibly can in the corner of the landing, hoping for that the structural weakness that Lamprey has discovered actually holds true. That leaves about 20, 30 fresh guys on their feet, looking to you what to do.
As we have planned now is get this up and open. If we actually can get to the roof, that would be a smooth way to get in between the different segments of the whole place. If we can get up there, I could also get over to the abandoned wing. Possibly even bring with me someone to back me up there.
If it goes fast enough so there's not helicopters, is what runs through your mind. No sounds of that anyway. Not now. Not yet. But it better go fast. Sure, plaster and shit is flying everywhere, but the added workforce is right out there. You see several of them have tools, but they're locked up in shield to improvised weapon combat with 4, now 8, 10 screws down there. The screws are still holding the radial, but they're pushing out of the workshop space. Something must give.
Can we get people into the radial, or is it closed off already?
It's closed off. Maybe you have the keys. Maybe you'll have to beat down the iron gratings that are for doors. There are double sluice doors that lead from the wing down into the radial proper. No problem breaking through the doors to get to the other levels. And so far only half of the people up here have been unlocked. They're already doing some major damage, but a lot of people are just standing around not really knowing what to do.
Yeah. I get someone who feels actionable but not frantic to get the keys. I had them over to them to start opening up doors up here, while I round up another group and just tear off the one key or few keys that I think would be, that I know are not cell keys, to bring with me down there, and see if I can get into the radial, or if not, at least have the tools and try and break us in.
You turn to the bunch. They respond quickly. Soon you have a unit of about 8, 10 behind you, working the door. It's hard knowing which key it is. This one's fucking stuck. Meanwhile, on the loading dock, Madeleine, you look between the medical wing where the screams, "Fucking get her! She beat me down!" and Gabrielle and Mom are now halfway out the door with the chest. Further down the corridor, where you see, shit, there's inmates in the radial. They're breaking out, screws meeting them. The terrible bang, shit, it's begun. And you're in the middle of it, and the delivery's not gone yet. Out on the loading dock, an alarm starts to cling, and you see the doors out to the road that lead out of the prison, out of this segment, out of this locked parking lot, start closing. And the cars are still in here.
Alright, we need to move.
The G4S guards look up to you, Madeleine, and says, "What's going on? What's this? You can't close the gates." How are we supposed... What's going on?
No, wait.
The doctor looks around. Screw looks at the radio. Yes, understood. Yeah, we're being locked down. There's unrest in the prison. I'm sorry. You will have to be kept here for a while to make sure that nothing is insecure. When we know that the situation is secure and it's under control, we can open the doors again. The screw next to you says.
But the guys who with the like machine guns and like are still here, right?
Yes.
They are not the ones saying that we should stay. Why aren't they just getting in the cars and like driving off ASAP?
They probably don't want to crash the closing gate. Plus, they are trained security professionals. This is something that could happen. One of them moves up and say, "You sure we can leave in a while after you lock the place down?" Like, two of them have already got into the cars, starting the engine. You see the accountant. He looks at you. He looks at you coldly with his grey, disdainful eyes. "I will be in the vehicle."
What did you say?
"I will be in the vehicle." And then it turns around and walks into the darkness of the black armored refrigerated truck. closing the ramp behind him. The other guards look nervously around and retreating to their cars, not entering the prison. The screws, on the other hand, are really nervous. 2 of them have already ran away, leaving 2 of them to pull at you, Francis, to get back to your cell. Get back to your cell, immediately! Yeah, this way.
I kind of obviously don't resist, but I do just say, you do realise my cell is through that? The medical wing is through what's going... You want us to go through all those prisoners?
Yeah, they still haven't broken out of the radio. We can make it.
I just look over at the others, but I frown. I mean, after all, the bloody bag that I'm supposed to give one of them is in the medical wing. I quickly just look in Ellis's direction and I just say, shouldn't there be 3 of us, not 2? 3! That woman. Maybe. She's not doing anything.
You see Mom confused as the alarm goes on. She looks at you, Gabrielle. There's venom in her eyes. And then you see Francis. You see the rioters coming out of the wing just to the right of you.
I, at this point, deem that the plan with tracking the blood bus is something that we won't do. That we will have to do without that part of the plan. So I'm gonna do something drastic. Since the riot is coming here and we need to fucking move to get to the location of the mysterious shadow spicer. I want to kind of flip over the box so it like goes into the floor and hopefully breaks. So we will set loose Rudy and we can go about our business. This is my plan. This is what I want to do.
You shove yourself full force towards it, trying to turn it over. Mom jumps back in fear, and crawling away over the floor as you overturn the box, still full of the power from the blood. It's not hard to tip, nor does it break very hard. The body in there is dense, powerful, and heavy, and the drop is bad. Plastic lock holders break, and the other lock flips open together with the weakened one. The lid flips open and a corpse slops out on the floor, apparently dead. Not much blood, no blood at all, in fact. The dark tan skin, greyish like a dead fish's underbelly. The eyes staring. It's a corpse. Somebody screams, more screams, banging. The rioters, they're outside of the bars. Only 2 sets of bars are blocking you off from the radial. We see Lamprey and a group of 10-15 smashing into the side of the surveillance building, being held down by 10-8 of the cops. You hear Handlebar screaming at the top of his lungs from the top.
Riot, everyone in position, get down to the radial, down!
Before his voice is broken off with a snap. You, all of you who are downstairs, you're in the central corridor, within eye reach of each other. Everything is chaos. The guards are not prepared for this. You're more or less undisturbed for a few moments.
I don't want to be here anymore.
No, you had planned not to be here at all during the riot. You were supposed to be gone.
Yes.
Possibly keeping in contact with those teams. You were supposed to be out of here. And now it's happening with you in the fucking middle of it.
Okay, since I already fucked the plan up, I can fuck it up some more. I look at Mother and I want to move really fast. But what I tend to do is I want to take her, I want to bite up her wrist and then put it on Rudy's mouth. That's what I want to do.
Give me that strength plus brawl.
Five.
That goes exceedingly well. So how does it happen? Describe it to us. You have her under your complete control.
Yeah, I'm just slouching down, biting fast so I don't get her own blood in my mouth because I don't have time for that, and just put it over his mouth. if I can, kind of bend up his mouth as well. But I'm not sure if he is, if he is like this because it's too bright outside, that it's still day, or if it's torpor or whatever. But I'm like, let's just go with it. He obviously needs blood.
Her body tumbles into the doorwell, into the old cells, and the tipped body with you. In there, it goes so fast. There's more indignation than fear in her, as she beats with her hands, powerlessly, and her blood on your tongue, bitter, angry, filthy blood. You spit it out, push towards. There's a shock going through Rudy's body as soon as the first blood drips hit his parched lips. Starts shaking, convulsing slowly. One of the other guards drops to his knees and screams and points. One of the ones that hold you, Francis. The other one is still pulling you towards the medical unit as you see what is happening right in front of you. You're just exiting the storage room. Keeping your eyes on that doorway towards the old cells, you see what's happening. Ellis has taken action. One of the guards has panicked beside you. The rioters are there, right at the end of the corridor.
All I can do as I'm being pulled is look at the man pulling me and just turn his head and say, "Well, look, your own people are attacking each other. Shouldn't you do something about that, you idiot?"
He drops you and pulls his nightstick and starts moving towards Ellis. Someone else come running out of a doorway, grabbing him. Come, we need reinforcements on 2, now, no time for anything else, come on. 3 more in riot gear come out from the administration wing, running towards the door, piling up 4 more. Shields, helmets, somebody's carrying a fucking fire extinguisher and starting to blow it at the prisoners through the bars. There's chaos around you. You're free. Running underfoot. They don't notice you. The guard is gone.
I think the only place I can be right now is with people who might protect me, and in that case it might be Ellis. I have no idea what the fuck she's doing, but I'm running in that direction for the moment. And Bakur, I'm sure she has a plan for getting out of a prison riot.
I do not have a plan for getting out of a prison riot. I am knocking on the back of the car. I figure that I can convince the accountant to let me in, I can hide with the blood bags, and I can see where they're going, so I will know. Because I care about 2 things. I care about not being in danger, I am an academic, and I care about the truth.
You knock desperately on the door, again and again. Its red lights turn on, and it starts driving a little bit away from the loading dock. But then it stops. Somebody's looking at you in the rearview mirror. And the van backs up a little bit and opens its doors. As they do, feel the chill in there. It is a refrigerated wagon after all. But as the accountant motions to you to get in, one thought rests uncomfortably in the back of your mind. Why did he bring in that bag? What did he do with it before he said that it was okay to move the box? And the doors close behind you.
Noticing from my vantage point that the good Dr. Bakur has suddenly entered the armoured vehicle, I will begin heading in Ellis's direction, even though I have no idea what's going on over there.
Ellis looks up at you with Mom's body pressed towards Rudy's face. His arms are holding her now. He's holding her. Supping deep. She looks up. looks at you, Gabrielle. No. Take my place. No. I care for... How can I care for them if I'm old? And she's quieter and stiller until she rests there, light in heavy, bloody arms. Rudy is still shaking in fetal position, face covered in blood. His skin slowly regaining a darker, meatier hue. In B-Wing. With a crash, the first door to the radial springs open. The press of 20, 30, 40 prisoners behind you push on. It's hard to know whether you direct the wave or whether you ride on it, but only minutes later, someone has found the other key, and you're just one door away from the radial. On the other side of the bars, they are sparse about maybe 2 to a feet, stand about 6 guards in full riot gear. They are braced, they are holding the door, trying to push it, so even if you get it open with the key, you will need to somehow push it open, lever it open. And there you are in that small space, but more and more people behind you. You can hear somebody's ripped apart some fire closet or something, pulling out a hose there on the first level. You can see it dangling down, smashing to the sides. The screw is screaming. Somebody's beating him. It's all happening so fast, and you're in the middle of it. What do you do?
I project and I command and I tell people to stand down with the screws. I'm trying to get the screws to stand down at the same time as I'm trying to get the inmates not to use lethal violence against them. Just hold them. Remember why we are here. We are getting the truth out. This is what I'm trying to get out to the people. And if I have to pause with the keys in order to do that, I will do that. I will try to gain as much control of the situation as I can in this chaos.
Turning your back to the door, you try to talk to the prisoners, casting a glance backwards towards the screws now and again. Sometimes your words pierce above the dinning noise. Then again, they're listening to you, but is it possible to control them? I would say a leadership plus. In this case, it might just be pure resolve to keep on screaming, repeating the same orders again and again.
Very good. And I feel a great bit of frustration as I'm going and going at it again. Going and going, and I'm going to use willpower to reroll 3 dice. That is a critical. Yeah, in total it's going to be 4 successes.
They listen. They move slightly away from the door. The screws are backing off a few steps, some of them still holding the door frame. But behind you, you hear the screaming of the screw stops. You can see one of them making a salute towards you as they push the screw into one of the cells and close the door, instead of holding him at knife point. Considerably better. They're making progress up there also. It seems quiet-ish. But you're gonna need to push through this gate if you're gonna get to the radial. You see Lamprey and his people are still being suppressed by the screws here. It's going pretty badly for them. Unless you get reinforcements there soon, they're gonna get beaten down, maybe hauled away and taken into holding cells. You can see it from here. Both the VPU unit and you can see the abandoned wing there straight ahead from you. Even through the bars there to the abandoned wing, you see the stairs down to the separate housing unit. Where it is.
In the pause of the din, I give out a sharp whistle. Pipes, over here. And try to get them to to start jamming them in at an angle where the door is starting to open and where the screws are pushing on the other side, just so we can get momentum and bend the whole thing off. We should need about 4 people with pipes. It should work.
Yeah, the scream goes out and the pipes are here. The boys start pushing their weight on top of it. Screws try to beat away the pipes from the bars with all their might, but it's worth nothing. There's so many prisoners and so few guards. Hauling on the long pipes, 3 at a time, the first old seal cracks and layer after layer of enamel paint flakes off the steel bars as they bend and open. Somebody kicks and the door flies open in a bad angle and one of the broken bars locks it open and the prisoners have an opening. For a breath, you could hold them back. You could tell them not to. But the way it looks open, if they only push now, you will get through. But screws will be hurt in this. There's pipes in your guys' hands. Blood is running hot. There's no way this is going to be unbloody.
I scream out at the screws. Up against the wall! Up against the wall! As we're starting to gain momentum, just to try and get them away. Because any resistance that they show now is only going to incite more violence.
Whether it is that they misunderstand the situation or not, they don't back up quite enough. 2 of them get squeezed on the side of the door as it flings open. Prisoners come crashing in, spilling into the radial, quickly overpowering and the screws ramming into the backside of the line that is holding Lamprey and his boys down. Lamprey rising up, taking off one of the riot helmets from one of the fallen cops and bang, smashing it towards its face. The screw flies backwards and an arch of blood from his nose. Lamprey's group connects with yours on the middle of the radial with screws being beaten down to the floor. Crush out your father! That's the way we do it! Up again! Yeah, we need to get to the roof! Come! There's 40 more down here. About 50 up there on the landing. All of them banging away at the roof. There you see. Flashing to your right. You see, shit, that's Ellis and Francis. Down there in the corridor, just on the other side of the bars.
I look at them, and I look over to the other side where the abandoned wing is. Is that sealed off?
The wing, it has the same kind of protection as all the other wings. Sort of a cage with the 2 locked doors as a sluice. And that part is the only part that seems well maintained. You can glance the stairs and the freight elevator down to the separate housing unit, but most of it is covered in scaffolding and old tarps and even containers probably containing tools and shit. But now...
it's too late to try and redirect all the troops now. With all the manpower we're getting now to break through the roof, I think that's going to be the quicker way, up and around, to get into the abandoned wing from above.
If you're judging by the scaffolding that goes all the way up to the roof, that could be a plan. Yeah, and if nothing else, there is, you see, somewhere from A, or is it from the VPU, there's a new mass of screws gathering. There's a new shock coming any minute now. And you can see behind Ellis and Francis, more screws are gathering there. It's just a matter of minutes before they will make a countercharge. But in this minute, you are facing each other across the bars. There are moments to communicate as Rudy flops about in his own blood, slowly rising.
See that, and I rush up as Lamprey is now rallying up people to start getting up through the roof. I bark out something to him about the scaffolding and how that will be the quickest way, before turning to where Ellis is at. We're going up and around to the abandoned wing.
Okay. I'm gonna make myself scarce, trying to get there unseen. But I need to get away to do that. but we will hopefully get help from Rudy soon, if he comes to. I look down at him, trying to assess if this will actually happen or not.
This is gonna take a while. He's gonna be there when he's gonna be there, that's all you can say. The sun is not gonna be down until at least in an hour. He's gonna be messy and groggy as hell, but at least he's awake enough to defend himself.
You gonna be able to get these doors open? Are you coming around us with
Yeah, I look down and I take the keys from Mama. I show them to you.
Good. I've got people to direct. I'll see you there.
Sure. Good luck.
Thank you.
Francis, of course, says not a word during all this, as he's just hearing Ellis and Paul quickly talk as they normally do, and I can't help but look in rapture at the body on the floor. Typical. Right there. A bloody actual blank body infected individual. I don't really study it or anything. Not to mention, where the fuck am I going? And I just kind of look at Paul and look at his mob and I go, I guess I'm joining your mob.
One of the other prisoners come up with the keys to the double entrance, unlock it, and shift in, pull Francis in. Ellis, are you going in through the door, or are you joining the other screws that are probably going to charge around, or are you going to stick to your plan and hide in the shadows?
I'm gonna stick to my plan and hide in the shadows, but I just need to get away to do that. So is there any possibility to slip around the corner and disappear?
Yeah, deeper into the old cells. There's 5 old cells here, all abandoned. Some of them with rusted doors, and there's junk and shit in the corners. This is a perfect place to hide.
Yeah, I just crouch down and pat Rudy's arm a bit and be like, good luck, buddy. I did my best. And then I backs away to hide or get unseen.
Inside the car, the accountant sits down at the little steel table beside the fridges. He motions you to another chair. It's riveted to the floor. There's another compartment in this car, blocked off from the others, and right behind the driver's cabin. It has a locked door with a padlock on it. It's currently closed, and the little light diode is red. The accountant sits down, looks at you. Yes. The delivery is incomplete as of yet. We are missing 1 box. You are here to remedy this, no? The accountant looks at you, Bukur.
I am honestly stumped. I don't know what to say to that.
Yes, the situation must have taken you as much by surprise as us. But yes, we are a reputable charitable organization, and we will not leave without a complete delivery. Smiles. But it seems we'll be stuck here until for the duration of this little incident.
Yes, I can't take responsibility for the prison. I just provide a couple of hours of therapy every week. This is not even my primary practice. I'm sure, though, that those very impressive-looking guards you have would be able to get the box once things have calmed down a little bit.
Yes, quite certainly.
It does seem like a very professional operation.
Oh, they earn their pay. But
yes, thank you for sheltering me for the moment. I'm not really used to prison riots.
Who is? Who is?
Yes.
He glances over at the door to the other room now and again. He is honestly quite uncomfortable in the situation. So you are a medical staff here in the prison, right?
Just mentally, I don't. Yes, I support, do therapy and conversations and estimations of the individual prisoners' progress and how likely they are to commit more crimes and such things.
Oh.
You know?
Valuable skills.
It's not an exact science, but we do our best.
Yes. You hear a snapping sound from the other wall. A hatch with a mirror in it has opened on the wall. It's a one-way mirror. Something is watching you.
Yes, I realize that it's probably not the accountant I should be worried about.
A banging, a crash, and two guys falling down from the makeshift stairs they have built in the corner announce that you have reached the roof. There's some old roof covering and sawdust and shit starts crashing down the side. Lamprey starts jumping around like a crazy person in Little Dance and say, "Yes, crash house your father now. I knew it. I saw that damn fucking stain growing from being a little infant. Pinky crash house your father. Look at me now." Yeah.
I slap him on the back.
Yeah. Yes. So
let's get the things up. The whiteboards. What did we have?
Yeah, he starts putting up large sheets that have been painted on with whatever colors and markers and feces they've had available. Also a couple of whiteboards that clearly state, "This is a medical emergency. 4 dead. We need humanitarian aid," and other messages. And up they go, one after the other, after the other. You see Donnie somewhere there in the crowd behind you, watching you constantly. Francis, you have been keeping tabs on Donnie for quite a while. He hasn't spoken to you, but he's 2 groups away, armed. He's got one of the riot cops' helmets on his head, one of their batons in the hand. He's not letting Paul go with those eyes. Up on the roof, fresh air.
I'm trying my best to keep focused in this madness and stupidity, but I do notice this. I find myself wondering, didn't we suspect that... Well, I suspected that he might have been... Yes, was it... Ellis was saying, yes, the infection spread to him makes you subservient. Maybe he's with our target. I kind of try and get over to Paul, pretending to yell something in support of this idiocy. And then as I do that, I just lean into him and just say, "Oh, I think it's time for us to go and find our target. Oh, so your old friend, Donnie, is probably going to try and stop us, just so you know."
I glance only briefly, but then I try to spot Vladimir among everyone.
There is Vladimir Budanov, that big guy. Oh yes, there he is. He's actually trying to shove up the stairs. Yeah, they must have taken the second landing as well now. Yeah, more people coming up from there. You see fires down in the main hall as they have broken apart the pool tables, put them to the side towards the radial and lighting it on fire. Now there's a strong pressure of screws on the barricades towards the radial. That part of the prison is lost. Any idea to crash through the radial and go into the abandoned wing that way, it's lost. Nothing from the VPU wing, except for silence and occasional screams. But the roof, yes, you're halfway there. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, he's coming this way.
I shout out at him, "Vlad, I need you!" And then I start moving up to start to orientate myself up there to get an idea if we can actually move here and get that way to the abandoned wing.
You're Paul, little man, I'm coming! He's wading through the other prisoners, most of them half a head at least, shorter than he is. He puts an elbow in the face of one guy and comes barreling up to you, screeching to a halt and almost pushing another guy into the wall. Yeah, what's up?
I need you to have my back.
Good.
We're going hunting.
Good. Yeah, I'm here. I had it from a distance a little bit more discreetly, operation style, but this works. So we're busting up there. Where are you getting us? Is he in the attic? Is that where he is?
Isolation Ward 46.
46. But that's in another wing.
Yes.
I nod.
But that means are you gonna go across the roof?
That's what I'm gonna do.
What?
I tilt my head. Let's go.
Fucking crazy.
Do you want... I lean in a little and say, Mr. Vlad, you sure did big game earlier when you were talking about taking out these...
Yeah.
demons. Is this where you balk?
No, not at all. Fuck, but yes. Oh, yeah, fuck me. Let's do this. So how do we get them across? What do we tell them? We're gonna escape this way? What? I don't think they're gonna care about...
No, we need to spread out to spread the message. If we're gonna get any kind of leverage with this, show people the truth, that's what we're fighting for. We need to spread out, we need to cover all wings, and we need to get away from where the screws are gonna come up.
I give Paul a really weird look, and I just say very quietly, no, the plan is to get into Isolation Ward 46, destroy whatever's in there, and then get out of here, Paul. You've done your part for the revolution, they don't need you anymore.
I just wink at you, Francis, and I ruffle your hair, and then I go.
Yeah, well, up we go then. I have a pipe. I think maybe it's easier on the way down than way up. I only hope the structural damage there as well.
I sigh in expiration, but okay, I guess this is fine. And then I just follow, and as I'm following, I look to Vlad and quickly say, oh, so the one in the helmet over there, probably gonna have to kill him or something, I don't know.
The vertigo is staggering. From the closed walls of a cell to the open sky to a drop at least 40 feet down on the sides. Just standing. Oh, you're on your knees, Paul. On your hands and knees. On the roof tiles. The roof is quite sharp, so the angle is steep. You're holding on. Wind catching your hair. The horizon deep red as the sun is setting. 5, 6 of the prisoners have already made their way out on the roof, clambering to any architectural feature they can find for dear life. Some of them realizing the gravity of the situation, more and more bursting up from below. There, one of them loses their foothold, holding on for dear life, being helped up. Yeah, it's dangerous up here. You're all up. Vlad comes up next, behind you, nodding. Francis, all of them.
Hold on to each other. Spread out. We gotta get the message across. This way.
They start making a daisy chain of holding hands up on top, spreading the sheets as Vlad looks up to you. No, this is what I mean. This is a bad idea.
This is how you gain your legendary hunter status, Vlad.
You hear the of an approaching helicopter somewhere in the distance. No, I just heard that. He starts hurrying, running across the roof, breaking the tiling on the roof as he goes. Crash, crash, crash. Jumping up, holding on top of the rooftop and dragging himself up, and then slowly letting him slide down on the other side towards the radial, towards the abandoned wing. The rest of the crew follows. The banners held high as the first helicopter crosses over the horizon, barreling towards the roof of Army Jail. In the shadows, where are you as this happens?
When we left me, I was just slipping out to go into obfuscate, but I'm of course heading towards the place where we're going, the room, but in a different way than the others, thinking that hopefully some of us will make it.
You slip through as the guards break into the radial, an unseen shadow behind the wall of shields. As they get overpowered by the prisoners, you slink along the walls on the side of the radial, just out of view as Paul stands there shouting like some fucking revolutionary leader, directing the troops, going military style on them. Screws don't stand a chance. There it is. Your interest is elsewhere. On where you saw those grainy video footages lead that black dot, rewinding, ever rewinding, backwards, forwards. Also, so much blood came up from there. As far as you understand it, no more than 10 prisoners, 15 prisoners are ever held in separate housing units in Leeds jail. So why so much blood? On those videotapes, the shadow and the blood. That again and again and again.
I take out the keys that I stole from Mother and tries to open the door to see if I can slip inside.
Just as the cops make their counter-charge, retaking the radial, find the right one and slip in. Stairs, even a freight elevator, rusted, in a pretty recently renovated anteroom. Several open doorways lead into the rest of the abandoned wing. Both of the floors have been cleared, there's no webbing, just the naked cells on the walls, even no landings. Instead there's scaffolding all the way up to the roof. The whole place is being rebuilt as a hyper-modern humanitarian high-security facility. But they got long ways to go. So stairs or the elevator?
Stairs.
Heavy footfalls.
I start slowly descending, trying to walk as silently as I can, so I can hear any other sounds in here. It's weird because all the sounds of the riot is suddenly far away. And I'm listening.
There's somewhere down there. There's a scraping, sucking sound. Rhythmical. Like a broken vacuum cleaner or something. And there, faint scream. But it's muffled. And why, you understand as you reach the bottom landing. The doors here are heavy steel. They look like they are feet thick. Almost like bank vaults. Thick, heavy locks and circular little windows into the cells. The isolation ward is clean. Recently painted. There's big red guidelines to the different 4 mini wings, each one with 10 cells. 4 should be there, the left side. It's possible, of course, to open any of the windows from the outside and look in.
I try to localize the sucking sound.
It seems to come from the deep corner. About where you would expect 46 to be.
Then that's where I'm headed. Slowly. Controlled.
The prisoners spread out like crazy locusts all over the floor, shouting, screaming, waving. The first helicopter comes in low. It's unmarked, but doesn't really look military or police for that matter. Maybe it's leased, but it's going in fairly close as you run the last 50 feet to the roof of the abandoned wing. It makes the climbing harder than it is, other prisoners are scrambling with you. A whole group of them have clinged onto you just by sheer momentum. How will you try to get over there without being in direct line of sight from the helicopter?
I will try to mobilize the prisoners to try and get the attention of the helicopter, I guess. You know, it is coming in, so it's obviously seeing everything.
Yeah, it's coming in, but it's coming in fairly low, so I mean, it can't be two places at once, so...
Yeah, so I'm going to try and get those who are further away to start holding their messages up and show it to the helicopter to sort of draw the attention on that end, rather than what we are doing here.
You shout out and wave one of the sheets. It looks like they're responding, but will it be enough? Climb your way at the same time, hoping that the distraction will be enough. So a leadership plus dexterity roll. And so how do you do it, Francis?
I'm just trying to not fall off a building. I'm out of breath. My body is aching at all this exertion. I don't give a flying monkeys about any of these other prisoners. I'm just trying to go where Paul is going, because if I get left behind now, I'm going to be lost in this goddamn riot. So I'm just doing my best to get there without dying.
By the skin of your pants may this happen. You slide down and start scrambling for it. Yeah, blood is clearing one gap in a jump, crashing down, using his body weight to steady himself and crawl up. It's gonna be fine. But you, Francis, go for a ordinary athletics plus dexterity, and dexterity and leadership for you.
3 successes on my end.
Mm-hmm.
Having, in these many sessions, regained a grand total of 2 willpower, I'm going to use 1 repower now to re-roll some of these dice. 2 successes.
You slide down. You think the momentum will stop as you hit that ledge, but it doesn't, and you almost tip over. There's another prisoner there. If you grab his leg, you would be able to break your fall, but he might fall.
I grab his leg. I don't want to die.
Smash! He goes down. You scramble up. He goes down screaming to the side of the building, and then it's just gone. There's no scream, there's no crash, there's no nothing. And there the helicopter comes booming as you roll over to the side. The other prisoners are screaming. One of them is throwing something at the helicopter. It goes to the side, doors slide open, and you can see police officers there, one with a megaphone.
Please refrain from further aggression and proceed to enter the preempted prison.
The screamer is distracted as more and more stuff is thrown at him. They see the banners. There's somebody with a gun in there. The helicopter swerves away and you have time to safely, calmly, methodically make it across the roof, Paul. And you're right there. Budanov has already smashed through the first panes and is in the low attic leading downwards. Banging.
I join him with a wary look backwards, trying to keep an eye on how the situation is. And also gnaws a bit at the back of my mind what Francis said. And then I see Francis clambering on, and I just point out to him, just stay there. Just lie tight. And then I look up to see if Donnie is about. He's not going to chase me across the roof, is he?
Yeah, Donnie is right there. Up there. On the top of the roof. Looking down on you. You can see him, fuck. Huh. Songbird's right behind him. You see Pat Songbird on the back and points at you. Pulls a finger across his throat. slowly starts climbing down. Blood is making great progress. 4, 5, 6 other guys are there, banging away. With the Donny's eyes gazing on your back, you make your way, smashing through the ceiling. This must be a quarter of an hour later, maybe, with 2 more helicopters in the air, and the constant screaming to cease your criminal activity and return to your prison cells, and leniency, and a negotiator will be out shortly, and all the other bullshit, and you crash down onto one of the scaffoldings, overlooking the abandoned wing in its emptied, decaying majesty. The building fundaments on the side, almost like pillars on the side of a cathedral, the junk and the scaffolding and the slowly waving tarps, giving the whole thing a slightly dreamlike impression. The noise and chaos of the roof is gone. Vlad is down, Franz is down, 3, 4, 5 others down. Crouching, you see clearly all the way into the radial, where the screws are in force. They have set up some sort of command center, and it looks like they're entering B-wing, but is that... Yeah, they're rolling in gas grenades now.
Alright.
But something else catches your eye. Crawling like some gigantic, wet, dark monkey is a naked man. Stands up, rips one of the bars to the side into the abandoned wing, starts slinking down the stairs. Another one. Rudy. The riot sounds quiets down, but your pulse beats harder than ever. Chaos on the roof may have subsided, but now the hunt begins.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the 3rd season of the chronicle No Man is an Island for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Our storyteller was Martin Ericsson, and we were also joined by Anna-Karin Linder and Freja Gyldenstrøm. The music was created by Lola Zaza, and the sound effects are from the fine folks at freesound.org, zapsplat.com, and Syrinscape. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Ludwig Manford, Bob Lange, Julián, Cameron, Ryan F., and Xabier for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, this show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check it out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. And remember, death is not the end.